The National Federation of the Blind presents Measure for Measure, Achieving Equality Through Braille Music Literacy. Like learning to ride a bike or cross the street safely, learning to read is a part of life.
So Jack called his mother, and they both gazed in silent wonder at the beanstalk. "I wonder where it ends," said Jack to his mother.
He was certain there must be something wonderful in the beanstalk.
Jack instantly began to climb,
Till everything he had left behind him, even the tall church tower, looked quite little.
and still
He could not see the top of the beanstalk.
For a musician, learning to read music is the equivalent of learning to read the alphabet.
When I first learned to read music, it was kind of confusing because it just looked like dots and lines on a piece of paper. And then as my teacher taught me, I realized it wasn't just any dots and lines.
What is true for the sighted musician is equally true for the blind.
Hi, my name is Kira. I'm 14 years old and I've been playing the flute for almost 5 years. Music basically is my life. I'm in the school band and orchestra, and I also play in the Los Angeles Youth Orchestra, and I sing in a choir and I play the piano.
My name is Marcus Roberts. I'm a jazz pianist. I first started playing when I was about 8 and a half. I learned how to read Braille music at about 12 and a half. My teacher at the time, he pretty much had to tie me down and make me do it. But once I did it, and once I started to understand that it was not a limiting activity, that it was something that was going to broaden even my ability to hear music clearer and understand theory and harmony, then I got much more into it.
In print or Braille, written notation is vital to a musician's development.
It's a window into the composer's thought process as the music was being written.
Music notation is an essential tool in the musician's toolbox. What happens when it's not there?
I'm Barbara Matthews, and I'm Kira Sweeney's mom. One of the frustrations that I had was when the kids in her school were beginning to learn print music, and she didn't have the opportunity to begin to learn Braille music at the same time.
Not having much instruction in Braille music has kept me away from lots of good learning.
And when the blind person wanted to go and be in the school band, a lot of times the sighted music educator did not know there was such a thing as Braille music, or even if he did, he was so anxious about it that he just said, "Here, you just sit in the corner and listen." Louie Braille invented Braille music. Louie Braille was an organist, a cellist, a pianist. He taught many subjects at the School for the Blind in Paris, but he had a passion for music. And he realized that what we need is a system where we could have, right under the tip of a finger, we could feel the pitch of the note and the rhythm of the note. And that's exactly what he's done. He has an elegant system that is very compact, and it still works today, almost 200 years later.
There's no musical staff with lines and spaces in Braille music. However, Braille music is a very logical and sensible system. There is a symbol for each of the 7 basic notes of music, and each of those symbols also includes the time value of the note, that is, how long the note is to be held. There are particular symbols in Braille music for modifying those notes as well, making them sharp or flat, for telling you which octave of the scale the note is to be played in. There are symbols for dynamic markings, for fingerings, for anything basically that you would see in a print music notation.
Everything that's in the printed score is also in the Braille score. This is movement 3. It's marked presto agitato. It's in 4 sharps, C sharp minor. It's in 4/4 time. Second measure. There's never going to be a replacement for reading something for yourself and interpreting it in your own way to build whatever life you want.
Well, yeah, I look forward to learning Braille music. especially since I'm going into band, so I won't have to just remember the notes right then. I can just read the Braille music and just go, oh yeah, and just play it right then.
Let's take a look at the process of transcribing Braille music.
There are actually only about 45 Library of Congress certified Braille music transcribers in this country now. Their work is in great demand. We administer courses in literary, mathematics, and music Braille transcribing and proofreading. The transcribing process has evolved quite a lot over the last 10 to 15 years. The music can be scanned in from print and edited. If a person is going to use computer-assisted translation to do music transcription, the most commonly used Braille translation software for music is Goodfeel.
Bill McCann, founder of Dancing Dots Technologies, has brought a world of possibility to Braille music production and access.
Our mission is to develop and adapt music technology for blind musicians and to publish learning materials for the Braille music system. I wanted to find a way to get materials quickly, and when I found out that people were using computers to print music out, I thought, well then, there must be a way to actually create the Braille music score with a computer. And that was really the seed of the idea.
Note entry mode, beat 2. Beat 3.
We can do everything from a simple tune, a song with words and lyrics, all the way up to a full orchestral score. We publish whole courses by Richard Taish. This is an introduction to music for the blind student, multi-volume set. And but here's a shorter, simpler book called Who's Afraid of Braille Music that we published, just to give people a taste of what Braille music's like, but mostly to explain why Braille music is, why it's important, and why it works for blind musicians.
To learn about becoming a transcriber, contact the National Federation of the Blind Jernigan Institute at transcribers@nfb.org. There's also information about the music transcription course at www.nfb.org/transcribers. With at least 18,000 Braille music titles, all of them available free, the National Library Service for the Blind and Physically Handicapped at the Library of Congress is the main provider of Braille and Braille music resources in the United States. Visit the NLS website at www.loc.gov/NLS. Young musicians can receive Braille music instruction at the Summer Institute for College-Bound Blind Musicians, directed by David Goldstein at the Music and Arts Center for Humanity, based in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Visit www.blindmusicstudent.org for more information. To gain information and insight into Braille music, join MENVI, a listserv for parents, teachers, students, and professional musicians. Go to www.menvi.org.
Ethan has got perfect pitch, and he plays beautifully, and he improvises, and I very much want him to be able to pick up any music he finds and be able to just read it and to be able to play it. It's important.
If you want to be a serious musician, it's just one tool that you need to have.
Blind kids should start learning Braille music at the same time as sighted kids are learning how to read print music.
I think what we have to do is have expectations for the blind students that are equivalent to the expectations for the sighted.
One of the great things about the National Federation of the Blind is that there are resources that any parent can call on to help find sources for learning Braille music.
I have a couple of students who are really interested in becoming music majors, and I want to make sure that they have those kinds of skills before they get into the college atmosphere so that they don't have to play catch-up like I did.
You simply don't expect that you're going to find yourself in this situation of watching your child be able to perform at such a high level, and it's been absolutely wonderful part of our lives. I know that for her to go on and fulfill her dreams as a musician, that Braille music is going to be a critical part of that.
We want to climb to the castle of excellence, and the music we read is our beanstalk.
The National Federation of the Blind, ascending to the heights of possibility. With Braille music, the door stands open to music literacy. You can help. Consider becoming certified as a Braille music transcriber, or open the doors of opportunity and become a Braille music instructor. If you are a parent, student, teacher, transcriber, or just want to learn more about Braille music, visit www.braille.org. Be a Braille music advocate and change what it means to be blind.